NAB Rising Star. You can drop the rising. She's just a star.
She's that new breed of footballer we keep talking about, Abs. The player that's come through the system. She started when she was 5 years old and hasn't stopped since.
Zoned off well, protected the space. The kick will go to Tayla Harris. It's a good kick. It's a beautiful kick, in fact. And Tayla Harris, who we just spoke on, has missed two. Should back herself in. Doesn't want to go back for the set shot, so she kicks it off one step and thinks that's the way to do it. Think less, just kick it through.
Lawifi in one direction. It's built to Zilke, had an air swing. Well done, Harrington. Found space where there was none. Harrington sets her feet, takes a good mark under some physical pressure.
The deck and then wins it at ground level. Hand pass off to Prespakis. Pokes it over the top. There's a couple to choose from. And G has her third for the afternoon. She was sore last week as well.
Oh,
Fellow co-captain is Harris.
what a grab.
Attacking the footy and taking it on like that.
Egan from 45 attacks the goal square to Harris.
Well, it didn't take too long for Tayla Harris to pull the first one down.
There's the free kick. Prespakis couldn't hold her, but the old wise head of Katie Loynes nailed her in the tackle. And now Harris to respond for the Blues, and she does. It's a goal apiece. Postlethwaite towards Wushner. It beat her and Harrington. Wushner now wants to try and turn the Carlton defence around. Hosking, Prespakis. Good through to the Tigers tonight. They've just got players in the right positions, and we see it once again. Prespakis finds a hole in the pocket.
They certainly do. Defensively, Richmond just can't penetrate that zone that they're putting through the centre of the ground. And Maddie Prespakis, she'll go long here to the top of the square.
She'll set it up. McAvoy lurks at the back. Harris at the front. And when you put some guns around her to share that load in the middle, as Harris comes in from the top of the square, and the Blues have got 4. 50. It's been all Brisbane territorially early in this game. Harrington turns around, first back, under some pressure.
Next week.
Here's Prespakis. Egan.
And the others really lift and they carry the load.
Here's Prespakis. Manages to slip away from Sfark. With the outside of the ball spills out. Johnson gets to her feet, has to release a quick handball. Prespakis somehow found some space where there was none. Harrington at the back. Here's Wilson. Harrington goes back, wins the footy, spins out of trouble. She was surrounded, did it beautifully. Flirting with the idea of the switch, but in the end will go towards Harris, and why not? She gets a clear run at it. She's hard to stop. Advantage in the air, hits the ground. Benici tackled by Prespakis. Harrington now tracks the football. Sockets it backwards to her own advantage. She's got some numbers in support, turns back into traffic and now uses Lawifi. Play, and she delivers to Prespakis. Maddie Prespakis, so good with ball in hand, and she hits up Tayla Harris, 20 out directly in front. It's a big moment in the game as the Blues look to draw back within a kick.
This is huge, Jace. Tayla Harris just needs to really lift her side here. But what a hit up by Maddie Prespakis. Elite by hand or foot, it doesn't matter for her. She'll hit it.
So Tayla Harris has taken a bit of power off her kicks this season to get the accuracy. No problems there. The Blues are back within 3 points.
She had a player to the right-hand side, but nobody deep. So, yeah, she just couldn't see those jumpers for the block.
So the Blues been on the back foot early. Can they come up with some offence of their own? Harris just muscles her way. Traffic wants to use McDonald, who is a left footer, if she can get onto it. Paddles to her own advantage. Will it sit at will? She can use her left now. Good pressure from Harrington. Forward over the top of Campbell, who's been thrown forward in this second term. Player in the competition, Charlotte Wilson. Her kick to Prespakis, and that's a wonderful contested mark against. Uncertain of her option, draws a crowd, pops a handball to Harrington. Harrington to Jess Hosking.
Stevie Lee and Danielle Ponte, the opposition teams are having to put more time into them because they are such dangerous small forwards that...
She's just getting her left knee restrapped at the moment. I'll keep my eye on it.
Back half's been a feature. Harrington now plays on, gains 10 metres, thumps it long towards half forward. Harris in the middle of this. Pops a little handball. Carlton's cavalry arriving. O'Dwyer, the pocket on her is closing. And the Blues do enough to shut it down. Go. Just chips it up inside 50 in the Harris direction. Strong hands once again.
AFLW debut, spent last year on Melbourne's list. Frederick and Harris, the former Lions, go toe-to-toe, and Tayla takes the title.
High kick inside 50. Cunningham tries to get to the front. It was a 2-on-1. Wilson engaged Cunningham. Cunningham wanting a free kick. Prespakis took the uncontested grab.
And switch, but Adelaide have closed it up now, so Blues have got to be careful here. They might get themselves hemmed in defence.
But that it's not us, Nudge.
Both in terms of breadth and instruction as Harris comes in from the side, and she's a class act when it comes to marking inside 50.
In hands of Georgia G, but the handball inside was optimistic. Harris takes out Pearce. The hands of Pearce through the legs of Moody. Here's Harris. Play on, it was touched off the boot. Harrington, Prespakis. Wilson just got a piece of her, it affected the kick. The mark taken by Harrington. So the Blues will now look to switch. She's slung as well. That'll be another free kick. Umpire says play on advantage. G lurks at the back, can tidy up and kick a second.
Put Jarks out of concession. Brennan dumped to the turf, and she's feeling her shoulder immediately from the Prespakis tackle. Egan flicks the kick forward, hands to it, and on the second bite, a mark to Seymour. And there's Katie Brennan just cradling that right shoulder. Let's have a look at her here. You'd imagine that, yeah, that's just the elbow out to brace that.
They've been under siege in the opening term. Harris takes the mark. Chance for the Blues. One late one here.
He's forward again.
Living in their half so far, the Blues. Moody's kick scrubby. Gets over a set of hands. Harris, clever. Works it forward. Just needs to sit here for G. On the third bite, she'll get it. Stroll in. Blues with the opener.
It's the Collingwood AFLW player in her second season as a Blue goes looking for Harris. It's a good kick.
They're out of position. McAvoy couldn't hold the mark. The dangerous Newman taken down by Prespakis. Melbourne, they're winning it on the outside at the moment. That's where they're doing the damage.
In the last week already. Prespakis, her 5th touch of the game.
Takes her down. Harris rides the Anderson tackle, gets the hands free now at the back here. Here's a chance for Alexander. Hits it towards the top of the square. It's a 1-on-1 and a wonderful mark from Harrington against fine opposition in Lambert.
If not already, she's going to be one of the best defenders in the comp, I think, Harrington.
Van Dyke off to G. She's a classy user and hits up Harris with a peach.
Prespakis and G. Little toe poke from G in the Prespakis direction. Somehow kept her feet long enough to win the football.
Kick off a step. Dangerous work here.
Chance here for Stevens. She's under pressure. Hooks it back towards the pocket. Coming out to meet it was Harris. So clever. What a goal from Walker. Oh, it hit the post. Contest in general play. Harris with a massive hit on Watt. Here's the tackle from Tayla Harris on Watt.
Time today. Tayla Harris from point blank range kicks her second. And Carlton, they're in front.
Was cut off by Sarah Hosking at ground level. Coming through hard there was Exon. She did well. She wanted the football, but nowhere to go once she got it.
Or second at the club behind the tackling machine Marinov. Kick went looking for Gum.
Vesio. Nice tidy delivery to Prespakis. 25 seconds left on the clock. Can the Blues get it moving? There's nothing at all inside forward 50. Birchall dispossessed. Quick hands, Prespakis so creative. The end of next year, you think they won't be clamouring for her. Here's Maddie again to Pound. Back to Prespakis. Putting on a show now. Gets it to Prespakis. Prespakis to a 1-on-1 off the hands of Harris. She'll try to keep it alive. He's got a couple of metres on Scott. Ducks under the tackle. Shelley comes back for...
And is back there for the Crows. So the kick will go towards Harris, who called Loins out of it. Takes her 6th mark of the afternoon. Has players queuing up in the corridor if it can get there. It's a great kick.
Don gains 10 metres. Thumps it long towards half forward. Harris in the middle of this. And that vice-like grip wraps around the Kerryn once again. She's 55 from goal. She'll wind up. Here's a chance for Stevens, who's just popped up out of nowhere. Goal of the season. And she squares it up. First term. Harrington goes towards Harris with strong hands. Beats 2 in the air. Composure to Lug. Lalawifi tries to get across to impact the contest. In the end, Leighton and Prespakis. Again, Leighton at ground level. Can left it behind. Prespakis.
And they're getting the results on the scoreboard.
The blue-collar aspect of their game, pardon the pun, might be the thing.
Averaging over 27 disposals a game. And she's part of this formidable midfield for the Crows. As there was another one, Marinov. Got the ball to half forward.
Before heading north to Brisbane. Goes in the Greiser direction, and the Blues get numbers around Caitlin Greiser, and the mark taken by Harrington. Again looking to switch.
Fumbling that tiny bit like Carlton were in the first half.
Although a couple of poor kicks in the last 5 or so minutes by the Blues have given the Crows a chance, but as you touched on, their defence has been rock solid.
Kicks to a dangerous spot. Walker at the front. Harris, Egan, flying shot. Will it bend back at will? The Blues are in front.
It was a brilliant turnover by Georgia G, but excellent reward for us.
Great poise for a first-year player, Grace Egan. Kick on the bounce will get to Harris, who just collects. Maddie Gay with a good, strong hit. Play on the call. Across the shoulder. Here's the hit from Harris. Braced herself for contact.
She is so strong, isn't she, Tayla Harris? Whether it's at ground level, as we can see right there.
Edwards towards the lead of Harris with a couple to beat, and she does just that.
Little toe poke from Dalton. G's clean. Prespakis, normally a finisher, delegates it off, and strolling in goes Walker.
Let's go, girls, set up.
The Blues had a famed mosquito fleet in the late 70s and early 80s. They've got a new version in their forward half this season.
Harris with a beautiful contested mark. It's one of her weapons, isn't it? She's so great in the air and at ground level as well.
Number 1 contested mark in the competition. Tayla Harris, now can she finish and open up a buffer for the Blues? She can. Stevens on her left boot, can float it over the top, pops it up for Harris to mark, almost at ground level. Harris versus Cordner, slick hands to G, great team football from the Blues, and they get their second.
Beautiful kick there by Nick Stevens, and Tayla Harris just did enough to keep that footy in front of her, and then quick hands out the back to Georgia G, who finished truly.
She gets the kick towards half forward again. Harrington's been good early, 4th touch.
Oh, she's been brilliant. She really is just this brick wall for the Saints forwards to try and get through. She's so consistent down there and back.
Elite decision-making skills, and just needs to keep backing them in.
Disposal number 9 for her. 7 contested. It's a good kick. Had a few Blues at the top of the square, and out the corner of her eye spotted Madison Prespakis. Already had the 13 disposals, and late in this half, a big kick for Carlton. Can she capitalise? Of course she can. And she taps the chest, and the Blues have kicked 2 in a row, and they bridge the margin within a kick.
3 and still held strong.
2-2 for the season. 19-24 in her AFLW career. Finishes it off. Carlton putting a space on the Dogs.
Kicks towards half forward. It'll spill over the back of the contest. Harrington again read it superbly. 50, awkward bounce for Wushner, will go back. Harris coming the other way, collects her.
Jess Wushner, let's have another look at this hit. She saw her coming straight away, and I tell you what, Tayla Harris, as we've said so many times today, she's one pace, 100% of the time. Huge hit. Inside 50.
Plain went straight ahead, won the football, gets it to Prespakis. Generally a good finisher. Can she bend it inside the post? She can! And the Blues open up a buffer in the final term. So finally some return on their investment in this final term, Abs. 7 inside 50s to 1, and Madison Prespakis with the finish.